Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great morning. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. Today, I want to talk about, will gold and silver prices continue to drop, or is the storm pretty much over? We're going to talk about that today because a lot of people are wondering that now, and I'm going to give you guys my opinion. If you guys enjoy the video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I love to hear other people's opinions, even if you want to just say it's going to dip a little bit more or we are off to the races. That way, everybody that watches this video can look down below, put their comment in on what they think the silver and gold prices are going to do, and then read everybody else's stuff too. So help me out. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, do the ultimate thing. Hit that subscribe button. I can't thank you enough if you do. Leave me a comment and hit that thumbs up button. We are testing out our new thumbnails right now. As you can see, looking at a lot of my previous thumbnails, a lot of people said the stuff is just too busy, too much going on, too much emojis. So we're testing out a simpler approach. You can see that on that very first video in that top corner. I love to hear y'all's opinions. Personally, I don't like the plane, but I do like that you can see the picture as opposed to these other ones. You really can't see any pictures. It just is what it is. But I'm going to know pretty quick based on the amount of views these videos get. So with that being said, let's jump right in and get started right off. What is the silver price right now? What's it doing? So we have silver price right now at $48.87. We have the futures price at $48.38. So as you can see, we're starting to get backwardation again. That to me leads to the belief that there are more people right now wanting physical silver. Another thing that I'm looking at is, what are the refineries doing? A lot of refineries still not buying the 925 sterling, still not buying the 90%. And so that leads me also to believe that right now they are looking for physical silver as quick as they can get it. Had a friend of mine get in a 100-ounce silver bar yesterday, and he was able to sell it instantaneously. He did not want to put any weight into it. He wanted to hurry up, send it off to the refinery, and not essentially risk the possibility that the price could come down. In the short run, anything can happen. We can see prices go up. We can see prices go down. A lot of stuff going on. We did just have a delivery, and that basically does have to be all cleared out by Monday. So that's going to be another interesting thing. We could see the prices dip, though, today. It is Halloween, but that's not why. Because with the delivery happening yesterday, today, and by Monday, we're going to see how that's going to play out. There could be some extreme selling. We're definitely going to see a lot of volume, I think, in the markets right now, both in gold and silver. And we are seeing the dollar strengthen in terms of the DXY. Right now, the DXY is sitting at 99.49. It has been on the rise. However, I'm not as confident in that as a lot of traders are, only because all fiat currencies that are backed by nothing are essentially coming down. And just because one currency is doing better than another does not mean anything. On the flip side, taking a quick look at the gold price real quick, we're going to talk some more, though, about gold and silver. We have gold right now trading at $4,008. We've got the futures price at $4,012, which is showing what we should be seeing, the futures price a little bit more than the current spot price. We're not seeing that, though, like I said, on silver. It has been a whole lot worse with the backwardation. However, I think right now the demand is just, like I said, extremely high. Even though the prices are up there, that higher price is encouraging a lot of people to sell silver. And now they are even targeting trying to get the most pure silver so they don't have to do nothing to it. They want to hurry up, get the silver in, and turn it into delivery bars. However, that really worries me. Why are they so in a rush to get it? Do they know something is coming down the line And a lot of people just thinking, hey, this dip, this is it. It's only going to go lower. Hurry up and dump your position. A lot of people think $50 silver is a top. I don't really believe that. And I'll tell you guys why I don't believe that. Because we've seen $50 silver before. We've seen it a couple times. We've seen it in 1980. We've seen it again in 2011. However, this last time, we didn't see it go to 50 and hit a huge amount of resistance. We saw it push forward past 50, past 51, past 52, past 53, and 54. We got up to $54.50 before they could really put a dent in it and push it down. A lot of the big banks that have heavy short positions, they are worried right now. I have a firm belief that they are worried because the amount of short contracts that are out there are obscene right now. This cannot end well. Eventually, they're going to have to make delivery. Now, there is a possibility that they're just going to keep trying to kick this can down the road for as long as they can. However, what always happens is when the stock markets tank, when the economy fully tanks, what do you think people are going to do with their money? A lot of them are going to pull their money from the stock market as it starts falling, and they're going to look for safe haven assets. And a lot of that money, I believe, is going to flow into gold and silver. Now, there's a lot of speculators out there that, I'm not going to lie, do think that the price is going to come down. However, I would be very worrisome that if you're betting on that, there may be no end to it. Now, what did we see most recently? Let's take a look at a chart real quick. So this was just over the last month. And as you can see right here, excuse me, I'm catching a cold, I think. I hope not. I'm assuming it's just allergies because I was out mowing and there was so much dust and dirt. But as you can see, over the last month, we were pretty low. We got down as low as 46.55. We've seen it climb all the way up, like I said, to 54.50, even though this chart's showing it 54.40. And then we started seeing it come down. And a lot of people have been worried that it just kept going down and down. On this chart right here, the low point, even though it was extremely quick, was $45.58. Now, I want you to think about that. That's a $9 drop. But look how quick it started coming back up. Now, I know some people out there are going to say, we had a couple days of up. Does not mean that this is over. Personally, I think it is over. I think it's pretty well over as of Monday or Tuesday. I think that will be the end of it. Why do I think that? Like I said, once these deliveries are made, they're rushing to get as much silver in as they can, even if they've got to give up silver that was set aside. I'm a firm believer. I would never want anybody to hold my silver, hold my gold. I guess if it's a safety deposit box, that's a little different, but having it held by a vaulting service that's far away from you, that you don't get to really check on it on a regular basis without making an appointment, that would worry me. Because I believe right now a lot of gold and silver is going to be sent out to make delivery of a lot of these contract orders, and then they've got other stuff coming in, and they can kick the can down the road a little longer. However, it's not going to work forever. A strategy like that is essentially a Ponzi scheme. And anybody that's ever looked at the U.S. debt clock, let's see if I have it open here real quick. Anybody that's ever looked at the U.S. debt clock, $38 trillion, $54 billion in the hole. All you got to do is scroll down here to the bottom right-hand corner and look at what the paper to silver ratio is. 359 to 1. That means 359 people lay claim to each individual ounce. Only one of them is going to get it. And I'm not even entirely sold that these are the most honest numbers, because you don't see that number change a whole lot. Maybe it's just because it's such a big number when you think about it, that, that it sits at that and it takes a lot to move it. However, I want you to think about this for a minute. You're playing a game of musical chairs. And at the end of the game, the last chair is sitting there. And you're walking around it. But you're walking around it with 359 people that all want that one chair. Think about that. That's 359 people that all want that 1 ounce of silver. And if it's gold, it's 339 for every one. Are you going to be the one that gets it? Are you going to be the one that gets that 1 ounce of silver? Well, here's the thing. If you've already got yours, if you've already bought it, you've already got it in your possession, you're holding it, it's an insurance policy. You've got your chair. You don't have to play the games that everybody else is playing. And I think people need to understand that. I can't stress that enough. And right now, I did a video yesterday about junk silver or constitutional silver. I had a lot of great comments on that. The 925 sterling silver. And how, now that the refineries aren't buying it, what is that doing to the markets? That's trickling down to where we buy gold, we buy silver, to where they don't really want to buy it. And if they do buy it, they're buying it at a lower premium. They'll pay less on it because they don't have someone to sell it to. They can't sit and hold it forever until they decide, hey, we're going to start buying it up again. And eventually they will, I believe. Once they get caught up. I found it interesting, a lot of people that said that's why they don't like that stuff, because they pictured that this could happen. And yes, it makes sense. If people need gold and silver quick, it's not the quickest way for them to get it. The quickest way for them to get it is to pony up and offer more money for $9.99 kilo bars, 100-ounce bars, that type of stuff. It's easier to sell. And it's not easier to sell, though, if you're selling to individuals. Me personally, I'm going to try to pick up a lot more junk silver if I can get some deals on it. Is it pure? No. Do they offer you not as good of a price? Yeah, they do. I've always found, though, that cheaper stuff has best opportunity in a lot of cases to go up. I actually know people that buy silver, and they're buying the cheapest stuff they can get, as close to spot as they can. Now, yes, a lot of them like the 999 silver coins, silver rounds. However, now as the price goes up, I'm convinced we're going to see a lot more fakes. Now, I'm waiting to do that video. I'm going to show that video in an upcoming video, so I don't want to get too much into the fakes. A lot of people have been hearing about the new fakes that are coming out that are beating the Sigmas and are just advancing. Now, with anything, there's always going to be a way to tell a spot a fake. Whether it's a ping test, whether it's a Sigma, whether it's calipers, whether it's an ice test. There's a lot of different stuff you can do to spot fake silver. But as the price goes up, you're going to see more of it. Now, when it comes to constitutional silver, I won't tell you guys that I've never seen a fake piece of constitutional silver. It's funny how they call it constitutional silver when you're going to buy it. But when you're going to sell it, they call it junk silver. Someone actually left me that as a comment yesterday. And I found that really interesting because I do hear that. When you go to a coin shop, oh, what do you got there? Oh, you got some junk silver. Yeah, we're not paying too much on it right now because the refineries don't want it. And we've got to sell it cheaper to get rid of it. And to a certain point, I totally understand that. It is a business. They've got to make money. They can't have all their money invested in precious metals. They need to be ready to buy more. And if they've got to sit on something for a while, that's why they offer less. However, you have an opportunity to buy this stuff up for less. Now, I had a bunch of people ask me, can you tell me the website where I can go and pick up some really good deals on that type of stuff? So places that I have found to get the best deals are usually jewelry stops or anywhere around you that is picking up and buying gold or silver. Find out when they buy it, what do they do with it? Did they send it off to a refinery? Did they refine it themselves? What are they doing with it? And that should tell you a lot, really. That will tell you If they're buying it, send it off to a refinery, they don't want it. They're not holding it. If they don't have a physical coin shop, now if they've got a physical coin shop, then a lot of that stuff, yes, they do send stuff to the refinery because they don't want to hold a lot of stuff. However, they also sell a lot of stuff in the shop. So they're looking to get, maximum profits off it. Some people, though, they ain't looking for big profits. Some people out there are just looking to hurry up, buy stuff, and push it off to the refineries as quick as they can. And yes, if someone brings in a nice 100-ounce bar and they bring in a bunch of junk mercury dimes, generally you have to pick all that up together. But what a lot of people will do is they'll offer a little less for the stuff that they know they can't send to the refinery, and they'll be a little more open to maybe spot price or lower price deals. Yes, they can hold it for a little while, but they can't hold it indefinitely. A lot of these places have to hurry up and rotate that money. And that gives you an opportunity to kind of sweep in with some cash and pick up a nice order and pick stuff up at a low premium. I can't stress that enough, to be looking around. Don't get locked in. A lot of people, even myself, when I first started stacking, I got locked in with one dealer. And I only used that one online dealer. And it wasn't until I had a problem with that dealer that essentially I looked around for another one. And the problem may not have even been a serious problem. I don't mind telling the story. I had bought in numerous tubes of silver, and I had heard someone say that he was buying from one dealer, and that dealer eventually gave him a monster box, an empty plastic monster box, and told him, hey, here's the best way to get in stacking. Start filling it. Box is yours for free. We appreciate your business. And I thought that was awesome. I couldn't believe that. I was like, that box is nice. I want one of them boxes. And I couldn't get one from the dealer that I was buying from. And even though I knew, think about it, they've got thousands of ounces of silver coming in, hundreds of thousands probably. That stuff probably comes in monster boxes. And what do they do with those boxes, those empty Silver Eagle boxes or those empty generic round boxes? Here they are, either tossing them, maybe putting them on their website for sale. I mean, I know you can buy them. And I was kind of disappointed. I mean, I was like, man, for how much money I've spent on them, how many people I've sent to them. I helped one person buy 4 monster boxes just himself in one order. He was kind of upset because they wouldn't take an electronic check. He said, look, you just wire it to you right now. And they said, we don't do that on the first one. You have to mail the check physically. And he got irate. People that have a lot of money, they tend to have less patience, it seems like. I don't know why that is. When I talk to people that have money, they get impatient. I had one friend, he ended up going to a bank recently. He wanted a box of pennies. And they told him no. They said, here's $10. That's the best we can do for you right now. He was really upset. He told him to keep the $10. He didn't even want it. And I told him after, I said, don't expect that this ain't going to happen again. You're going to see that happen more and more and more as the penny goes away. And he's like, well, how do you get them? I said, well, there's a few different things. You can start out by asking for customer wrapped rolls, the junk that a customer brought in and sold back to the bank just to cash them in to get rid of them. Or you essentially build up a good rapport with a bank, and then, they know what you're doing and they'll try to help you as best they can. I was kind of surprised, though, because this person was not a small fish. He had a bunch of money in his account. And, when you're a business owner, it's rare that they don't get something that they want like that. A box of pennies is not an unreasonable request. Now, I think we're going to see that happen even more and more. For those of you that don't know what's going on with the pennies, I can do a video on it and talk about it if you guys leave a comment and you want to know. But in short, they've decided to cancel the pennies. A lot of coin collectors are trying to get pennies now because they know they're not going to be able to get them in 6 months to a year from now. And that leaves opportunity, because when people want something and they can't get it, usually they'll pay a little bit of a premium to get that stuff. And that's why I've told people, hey, stock up on some pennies. Get yourself a few boxes, put them up, and you'll have them if something ever happens down the road. So back to the silver and the gold. So the big question is, have we hit the peak? You know, I don't believe that. When you look at gold didn't stop at 4,000. It blew through 4,000. And then, yes, it had a pullback. And it's a healthy pullback, I'll say. I know some people don't like to hear something like that, a healthy pullback on a metal that's manipulated like silver. However, these pullbacks are also opportunity. I can't just say a healthy pullback, but it is opportunity, because it makes it to where, one, it consolidates. Two, nothing goes up in a straight line forever. So when you see it go up and then all of a sudden you see it pull back, there's a lot of small fries like myself and like maybe some of you, where we're just picking up, what we can when we can. And essentially they see a pullback and it pushes them to want to get a little bit more. Now, yes, a lot of people do freak out when they see a pullback and they think this is the end of the line. And there's a lot of wolves out there. I'll say Jim Cramer being one of them, where they will talk trash. I mean, they didn't have a word to say about silver and gold when it was $15, when it was $20, $25, $30, $35, $40, $45, $50, $54.50. They didn't have a word to say good about it. An asset that's at the top of its class, essentially. You look at any other stock or anything, any other investment this year. They didn't have nothing to say about gold and silver. All of a sudden, it get beats down, and they tell you, we told you so. And don't be surprised. They're not going to go down without a fight. They're going to try to pump it back up again, so you need to sell into that. It's crazy, and people buy that crap. People don't understand what's going on. They're sheep, essentially. So the big question is, what are you going to do? Do you think this is it? When I look at this chart, yeah, it came down. It's discouraging that it came down. But is it really down? I mean, you look at this. Look how much it's been going up all year. This little drop, and we're not even at the bottom. Look, it's already starting its way back up again. I get disgusted earlier in the week with how many phone calls that I took relating to gold and silver pulling back, like it was the end of the world. We're already back at 49. Think about 49, what that is. You're talking $5.50 off of its all-time high. It's new, and when I say all-time high, I mean exactly that. All-time high that we just hit recently. Because before that, the all-time high was like $50. Well, we blew through that. We were in uncharted territory. It made sense what happened. But a lot of people are just going to wait, and they're going to wait, and they're going to wait, and it's going to be just like gold. I don't know how many people I heard say they weren't going to buy gold until it pulled back under $2,000. A lot of them never got back in. A lot of them just kept watching it and watching it and watching it. A lot of these people aren't going to get back in until the fear of missing out is back on the table. Once silver shoots back up to another new all-time high, which is only $5.50 away, that's easy to think how easy it is to pass that now. Once it passes that, it will be talked about again. It will be popular. And then people want to buy in. Why would you not want to buy in now, pick up a few more ounces? I understand people are waiting for a pullback. Is that not a pullback when you look at that chart? Look at the chart right now that you're seeing. $54.50 all the way down to essentially $55. $55.50. That's crazy that people are still on the sidelines waiting. Now, I know there's a lot of high premiums out there. A lot of dealers, as the price comes down, the premiums start going up. And yes, I will be the first one to say I would rather see spot price at $60 silver and the premium be at like $2 over spot than see the spot price be at 45 and then I've got to pay a $5 premium. Now, some people don't see the difference in that. They're like, why does that even matter? Because it's always easier if an emergency comes up to get closer to spot price. If there's a high premium, you can kiss that goodbye pretty much. A lot of times you're not going to get premiums on the silver if it's an emergency, unless you're just a really good salesman and you know how to talk to these people. Because generally, one, they're going to pick up that you're in need of money. Two, they know you'll sell because you need the money. And so once you realize that, you realize, well, the closer I can buy it to spot, the more it has the potential to hold the value. Now, it's great when you buy it and then the price jumps. I ended up picking up a bunch of stuff the other day, and I picked it up at $48.88. And here we are now at $49.04. And was I nervous? That's what separates people. That's what separates the people that make it do really well in life. You can't be scared. You have to reach out and take something if you want it. I have a friend of mine. He goes, I don't know why you worry about this stuff, dude. Just buy. You can't change nothing. So what does it even matter? And he's partially right, but I like to know. I like to think about it because I want to catch every dollar I can, essentially. It's a huge opportunity. Now, when I say I picked up at $48.88, I mean, I had to pay a premium for that stuff. But now you look at it, the premium's gone. It's as if I got it. I haven't even gotten it yet. It's on the way. And literally, by the time I get it, it'll be a deal. People will look at that and be like, unreal. And it's not the first time this has happened. If you really pay attention to the deals and you take advantage of them, when the markets are telling you the prices are going to go even lower, that should tell you maybe they won't. And when the market is telling you, oh, there's no end in sight, it's going to be $50,000 before you know it, that should also tell you something. You can't listen to everybody that says everything. I mean, you can listen, but you still have to think. And a lot of people today, unfortunately, are just too tired to think. They work their jobs, they're busy, they have busy lives, they're taking care of the kids, they're going to college, maybe they're going to school after work, whatever the case may be, and they're missing out on the thinking. And the thinking is everything. It really is. Because when you can see the trends, you can get in front of them. And if you get in front of them, you can do really well. So back to the big question. Is this dip over? Personally, I think the dip is over. I think we're going to see silver and gold keep slowly inching higher. Tomorrow, we might see it go up to, well, I say today, tomorrow is in today because it's 112. So, yeah, today. We might see it go up to $50.50, and then we might see it pull back to $49.50. Could we see some big jump? We could. I don't think we will see any huge jumps back to new highs until probably a week and a half away. Come the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th, next week sometimes, I think then we could see towards the end of next week, maybe towards the beginning of the following week, I think then we will start to see some higher highs out there. And that's where the opportunity comes in, to strike and take the opportunity now that's right there. You got to look around. You got to shop around, though. So with that being said, going to wrap the video up here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's take a quick, I just want to see real quick how many minutes we've been. Okay, 29 minutes. I don't want it to get too long. I could sit here and talk all day. Now, remember, I should have started out with this, but if you watch the video and you leave a comment today, I will be reading that comment on the Saturday morning videos. Those videos Saturday morning, they get a little long because I do a lot of reading the comments and talking about them comments. And so leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And with that being said, we're going to wrap up here. I hope you all have a great day. And hit that subscribe if you haven't hit it. Hit that thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts and keep stacking, my friends. Price is only going to go higher, in my opinion, and a lot of people will miss this opportunity. You'll look back at $49 silver and say, I wished I had just pushed myself to pick up more while I had the chance. But unfortunately, I kept procrastinating. And that always happens, unfortunately, and a lot of people miss out on that. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. It is Friday. Oh, and happy Halloween. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.